Indeed, Jared Goff with us here on 97.1 The Ticket. And as always, Jared, thanks for being with us. I love that we get to extend this another week and hopefully several more. But let's start with something you said after the game, that it was the best atmosphere you've ever been a part of. And I was thinking, well, he's played in Seattle, and Seattle's got a reputation. But do you think that was better than Seattle, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the greatest I've ever been in front of. And, our fans bring it. They really do. And I know they were excited for that one, as were we. And the challenge will be now, can they outdo themselves this week? But, that was really unbelievable. And certainly the support for me personally was really special. And, it was fun.
Can you discuss how tough it is to be the quarterback on the other team and to be on the other team when the fans are that loud?
It's hard. It makes things difficult in the huddle. It makes things difficult at the line of scrimmage. It slows up communication here and there and makes things hard. And teams that have a home field advantage like we do, it really does make a difference. It forced 2 timeouts for them early in the third quarter, which I'm sure they didn't want to do, and allowed us to only need one more first down to end the game there.
It definitely is a real advantage. But at what point did it hit you that you actually get to do this again this week in front of these fans for at least another playoff game? And could you even hear yourself talk while the defense was on the field?
Yeah, no, you couldn't really. Like, we'd be doing like little sideline adjustments. You kind of had to wait till the play was over and then, can go back to doing it. But yeah, they were great. They were loud. We knew once Green Bay won earlier in the day, we knew we had that chance. If we would have won, we'd go on and play another one at home next week. And as we are now against the Bucs, we know who we got. It'll be another fun one.
I said yesterday on the air, I think I could spend the entire 10 minutes with Jared talking about the last pass. Let's start with, it's the 2-minute warning. You guys have a 2nd down and 9, and knowing one first down ends it, but also knowing they have a timeout, you could run it, drain their timeouts. There's all kinds of different approaches to this. Take us into that huddle with you and Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson and the discussion that led to the play call. What were you guys talking about?
Yeah, at the end there, you're saying?
Right after the 2-minute warning, you had a 2nd and 9, the completion to Amon-Ra. But you made the call to throw it on 2nd down. What went into that discussion?
Yeah, I think, I was certainly not 100% sure that a first down got us the game over. So I think we were kind of a little bit in limbo there on what we wanted to do. And I remember Ben saying in my head, hey, man, we're going to stay aggressive here. We need to get this first down. I'm like, all right, great. And he called that play. We've ran that play 100 times since I've been here. And it's basically St. Brown go win against the nickel corner. And, it's a one-on-one route. And he went and won. It's a pretty easy pitch and catch when the receiver wins like that. And, yeah, it was a good play call and one that we'll remember forever.
So when he gets to the top of that route, do you know which way he's going to break, or is that something where you guys are kind of on the same page looking at the way the defense is playing you? How does that work?
Yeah, we have a pretty good idea pre-snap of how he's going to do it based on what they look like on defense. And then as he gets into his route, I know for sure which way he's going to come out of it. And, yeah, he ran it perfect.
You guys, you had a chance to obviously address the team afterwards in the locker room, and at some point you said, against whoever the blank wants to come in here, getting ready for the next game. Can you talk about how your confidence in this team has grown year to year and why it's where it is at? And, is it at an all-time high right now?
Yeah, it is really. I mean, we're as confident as we've been and playing good ball, won a few in a row now. And it's fun to play at home, man. I think that was the message there is that, whoever wants to come in here and feel this crowd, feel this ruckus environment and try to win a game in our place, good luck to them. And we'll be ready to go.
Well, that opponent is going to be Tampa Bay. You know this now after watching the games last night, and they like to blitz. This is nothing new. You guys faced Tampa earlier in the season. You won at Tampa 20-6. But now they like to blitz. They like to blitz a lot. What are the advantages of facing a team that brings the heat constantly?
Yeah, well, it's always a challenge picking it up in protection, but when you do pick it up, there's voids all over the field, and typically when teams blitz like that, they're willing to leave those voids, banking on getting home, and they're one of those teams. Sometimes they get home, sometimes they don't, but they're a really good defense and a team that gave us some challenges earlier on in the year, and we'll have our hands full again.
I want to go back to a couple of plays in that game. The Sam Laporta touchdown, 4th down, we all expect Dan Campbell to go for it almost every 4th down now, but obviously he doesn't. But that's 4th and 1. That's an obvious place to go for it. Was that play to Laporta, was he your first read, or had you moved on through your progressions to find him?
Yeah, he's to be honest, he's really the only read on that play, and their defense presented something we really weren't looking to get there, and kind of played it a little differently than we expected. So he kind of just ad-libbed at the top of that route and came across the back of the end zone, and we were both on the same page with it. And he's a hell of a player, and that's what good players do, is just kind of find each other in those moments. And he made a great play, man.
When did you know he was going to play in this game?
When did I know for sure?
Yeah.
Probably Thursday after practice.
Oh, okay. Well, certainly having him helped. And speaking of guys who stepped up, Josh Reynolds, in the first two drives, you guys didn't face a third down. We're right down the field and scored it, and it was the Reynolds show. That's a chemistry you've had with him for a long time. What a performance by Josh.
Yeah, he really showed up, man. He really did. And I think that, his whole story may get lost a little bit in this, last week, but he was a part of that team for a long time too, as was I. And, he was, basically sent elsewhere as well. Excuse me. Sorry, it's my dog.
Very upset.
Right, hold on. What, do we got the UPS driver pulling up or something?
There's a squirrel?
Probably. I knew it was going to happen. He likes to do it when I'm on the phone. But yeah, Josh had a hell of a game and really showed up for us.
So the word grit, gets thrown around. Dan Campbell brings it out there. It's not just a buzzword. I mean, it really means something. It's something tangible too. And you've got examples like Anzalone toughing things out, Laporta toughing it out. What does grit mean to you?
Yeah, it's what we're about, man. It really is. It shows who we are. It's our culture. It's what Dan has infused into us, and it makes us tough to beat when we play that way and really embody that. And that was, I think, Dan's whole vision and Brad's whole vision when they got here, was building a team and building players who can represent that and make sure that we can uphold that.
What can you say about your defense? Held them to 6 points in the second half, came up with the big stops when necessary, played one of their better halves of the game. I mean, Matt Stafford had a really, really good game. Nakua's unbelievable, but that defense got the stops specifically in the red zone. What can you say about those guys?
Yeah, they did, man. They really did. They showed up there in the red zone and really helped us out in that second half. We were only able to get 3 points for them, and I think the whole game, the possessions were scarce, man. It was, you get a possession, you got to take advantage of it. And in that second half, their defense did a good job against us, and our defense did a good job against them. And it's a 1-point win, and they all count the same. So yeah, our defense really stepped up for us there in the second half and made those stops.
So I suspect that this offseason your phone's going to be kind of ringing off the hook with free agents asking you questions about what it's like to play for Dan Campbell, what it's like to play with and for Ben Johnson, and what it's like to play in Detroit. What would you tell them, and what have you had to tell people maybe if they've called in the past? Yeah,
if you want to play for a real, genuine dude who cares a whole hell of a lot about his players, come over here. It's a fun place to play. He keeps it fun. He keeps it light, but also keeps us extremely accountable and is as fun as anyone I've ever played for and is as genuine as anyone I've ever played for.
And what about Brad Holmes? I mean, there was a video of him going into the elevator, yelling, going crazy. I think we've asked you before about his overly aggressive high five. I'd be afraid to engage in a high five with Brad Holmes after a win, but it was really heartfelt afterwards, him getting the game ball and how much that you guys mean to him and his vision and Dan Campbell's vision kind of, jibing together.
Yeah, sure. And I know his history with the Rams as well would made that one a little extra special too. But Brad has done a great job, man, ever since I got here and their vision, and they stuck to it, man. It's not easy. There's always, emotional decisions that you can make, and I think that they haven't. They've stuck to their plan, and whether or not you guys agree with it every step of the way, I think that's the part that they don't really care about. They just do what they think is right and not listen to any outside noise and people telling them who to draft, when to draft, who to sign, when to sign, and they don't know anything. These guys in our building know what's going on, and Brad and Dan and everyone on Brad's staff up there is doing a hell of a job.
Dan Campbell answered this in during the morning show, and how much does it help? And does it help or hurt either team that you guys have played before and you beat them? Talking about Tampa this Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a long time ago. It was early in the year. We're both, extremely different teams now, and I'm not sure if they had all their guys up that game, and I certainly know we had some injuries as well. So it's a completely different team. It's also at a different location, and they're playing really good ball right now, and we'll have our hands full.
So for the playoffs, they've added some new stuff at Ford Field. For the night game, it was really cool to see the light show that they had. They've got the pyro going on. Lots of celebrities in the house at Eminem, Big Sean, Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson. Who do you want to see that come to Ford Field that maybe you haven't seen just yet? And have you ever been starstruck by celebrities?
Eminem's like the biggest one for me for sure. Seeing him at these games is like the coolest thing. And I met him last year. He came to practice, and that was like a big one for me to be like, well, that's somebody I grew up really, a huge fan of and still am. And but I'm thinking now, and I think the only guy, I don't know if I've seen him at a game yet, would be Kid Rock. I think that'd be pretty fun. I think the crowd would enjoy that.
And the crowd chanting Jared Goff, Jared Goff. Have you ever heard a Jared Goff chant in your career, and how cool was that?
No, that was the first time, and yeah, it was really cool. I think the support I felt from them, the support I have felt from them since I got here has been pretty incredible through the ups and downs, and kind of being in that moment there and hearing that, and given the circumstances, it was pretty special.
Well, Jared, as always, we appreciate your time. Thanks again for another win, and we are planning on doing this next week, so we'll talk to you then.
Perfect. All right, see you guys.
Thanks, Jared.
There he is, Detroit Lions quarterback Jared Goff here on 97.1 The Ticket.